I am getting ready to wrap some stocking presents for our kids and my husband because we do adult stockings in this house as well. And I thought I would take you through what we've got and our approach to stockings and Santa and how we do it and what we've spent. I feel like everyone does stockings and Santa really differently, and it's interesting to get a perspective into other people's Christmas mornings. So I have got 4 bags here, and I'm just going to take you through what we got. If you follow my channel, you know that my whole premise for everything we bring into our home is to do it in a way that is as kind to people and the planet as possible. And Christmas can be this time of such consumption and just, especially with kids, so many things. So it's always a journey of trying to balance making their experience of the holidays fun and happy in what we want it to be, and maybe similar to their friends in some ways that we want, and also trying to do it in a sustainable way that doesn't lead to just the overwhelm of so much stuff and a real me focus, which is just a challenge and I'm not sure we'll ever get completely right, but it's the goal. Okay, I'm going to clip this on. So I have 3 kids. They are 3, 7, and 9. And we pretty much do all secondhand items. I think there was, and then consumables, so things that they would eat or drink anyway, but maybe a little bit more of a fun version or something that's a not all the time weekly food shop food. And we put those in as well. We also try to do things that they need. So anything really that they need from about September, we will just hold on to and pop into the stockings. Yeah, so a bit of fun, a bit of things they need, a bit of consumables, things they would have had anyway that are a bit more fun. Okay, but let's dive in. So we're going to start with my 3-year-old's stocking. And this was from a charity shop. And I think I actually showed this in a different live. I just did the tap. I'm sorry. This was £2. We love these puzzles. So whenever we find them, the Gecko is the brand puzzles. We always snap them up. So she loves those, loves puzzles. That is gift number 1 for her. Then this was not a need, but they were really cheap, reduced in the charity shop, and I knew that they would bring her joy. Again, I also showed this in the last charity shop haul, but some hideous Peppa Pig house slippers. We do try and do no shoes in the house. I'm a bit rubbish at it, but that's that. Then a couple of clothing bits. So really any clothes the kids need. Again, coming into winter, we will wait and they go in their stockings. So this sweet little one, originally this was a fast fashion piece. This is Zara. I would never buy that new. I wouldn't buy that off a clothing resale site, but when something is in a charity shop, I will buy it no matter where it is from. I thought that was really sweet, and that was $1.99. So that's for the 3-year-old. So that's 3 pieces. Then she also gets a book. She actually found this. This was $1.39, and I have another kid who's learning to tell the time, so I thought that could help there as well. So we've got a Pepper book there. So that's 4 items so far. Then a little jacket. This probably wasn't a need, to be honest, but I looked at it in a charity shop a couple of times and then I went back in and it was 50% off. And when charity shops are getting rid of stuff and it won't be bought, it's often bundled together in rag bundles, shipped overseas, more emissions, ends up in clothing dumps and things like that. So I thought we would give it another chance at life and then try and pass it on Vinted to a real home rather than shipping it away somewhere. Okay, we will absolutely gift hand-me-downs. So I got a hand-me-down bundle from a friend of a lot of dance wear, and I've just saved it, and that is going in the stockings. I think so often we can think that things have to be brand new to feel like they're worth gifting or to feel like they communicate love, but we do not take that approach. We as adults celebrate secondhand and used and giving things a full chance at life. So our kids do too. Okay, a little hat. She did a lot of charity shopping with me for the other 2. My 3-year-old, and she really wanted a hat, so I sneaked one in while she wasn't looking. Again, a charity shop piece. That was Oxfam, $1.99. Then what else? Oh, those are actually for a different child. Okay, a little bit of chocolate, and that will always be fair trade. Our chocolate, any chocolate that we have, we will always go fair trade. So these are little chocolate buttons, fair trade certified chocolate buttons to throw in there. Again, they would have had treats and chocolates and things like that, but it's fun to have their own little bits. Okay, I did buy some Curly Wurlies because, so they're not fair trade. Oh, I mean, they're Nestle, They're Cocoa Life. They have their own certification. I'm not convinced by it. I won't typically buy Nestle chocolate, but it was a clearance item. It was 50p for a bundle, and they were going out of date and they were on clearance. And then I'm a little bit more lenient in what I will buy. So a little Curly Whirly. And then again, another fair trade chocolate lolly. Then I bought a whole bundle of pencils. It was 50p for about 10 pencils. So I've just split those up between the stockings. So again, just little things that they need and will use. And then I did get some underwear on Vinted. For each of them, get new underwear on Vinted. That is, I don't know what brand that was. Primark. Again, I don't usually buy Primark on Vinted. There is so much underwear on there. I did buy it. Would never buy it new. Okay, 2 more things for the 3-year-old. We've got, this is actually, so we're ending 2 years of buying no new clothes. This is one of the last things I bought new 2 years ago for a different child. They never got given or worn or anything, so we've got some new Bowden socks, but I'm going to pop those in the stocking this year. Again, things that we need. And a little dress. Again, charity shop piece. Just little needed items. So that is the 3-year-old. Okay. Then the 7-year-old. Okay, 7-year-old. Oh, we got those to split between them. Just little bits. Again, fair trade chocolate. Always what it's going to be. Again, so pieces that she needs. We got some leggings from Vinted. And then when I look at Vinted, I always check to see if I can bundle something and only pay shipping once. She really needed tights, so I bought a 3-pack of tights. It's exciting to get these things for them, even though they're things they need. We just kind of go slowly in bringing anything into our home. So acquiring things is exciting, and it means these things in a stocking is exciting. 2 little skirts, Bowden skirts, I think, that I got on Vinted. And those will also go in her stocking. Some nice, she needed a little wardrobe refresh. And then more hand-me-down items. Like I said, no shame in gifting hand-me-downs. So a little hand-me-down frilly skirt that came with all that ballet stuff. Undies, the same. I actually got all the undies from the same seller, so I could bundle that. More hand-me-down, another leotard, big dance child. And then a lot of the same things. We've got the chocolate coins, the little pencils, a chocolate, fair trade chocolate lolly. What else have we got in here? That might be everything. Oh, another little, again, hand-me-down dance cardie. But those things will all be really exciting to her. What's in here? Oh yeah, this is one of those foodie bits that are a treat. Little juice boxes, or box with a straw. I don't know what. Everyone calls them something different, but Course and Press. They love those, but they're not something that fits in our normal food budget, so they'll each get one of those. And that is it for, oh no, a pair of jeans, which she needs, maybe won't be super excited to get, but a pair of jeans. Okay, so that's child number 2. And then child number 3, and then we'll talk about Santa. We've got this clock. My husband actually found this on the side of the road, someone who was just giving away stuff. And he picked up a few different things, and so that is going in there. And we have such value in our home for taking care of people and of planet in how we consume, that we know that love is communicated wherever we find an item or acquire it. It's about thinking about the person and getting it and saving it and gifting it and how we do it. And so whether something is, my husband's bought me things from charity shops, secondhand from eBay, from so many different places like that. And it communicates such love to me because I know he's taking care of the planet. He's not buying fast fashion and screwing people in how he's gifting to me. And I feel very known. And so I think we got to change the stigma around gifting secondhand. It can be so thoughtful. And yeah, that's how we view it in our home. So undies for this is my 9-year-old. So we've got side of the road clock, undies from Vinted. And what else? Oh, he loves these books. That was a charity shop, 5 books for £1. So I grabbed 5. Then we've got some of the same things. So they all got these, not fair trade, but got them on clearance. So I'm a little more chill. And then the same fair trade chocolate coins, the pencils, all those little bits. Anything else? And then one of the Corsten presses as well, the little juice box. And I think that's all. Oh no, this is one of my favorite finds of Christmas, and I hope it is as appreciated by him as it is by me. I think it will be. This I actually showed on the charity shop haul that I did because I found this a while ago, and I start shopping for these stockings in about September. I'll pop in to charity shops once a week just to see what's there so that I can slowly pick bits up, and there's less stress and less pressure. And this I found just for a few pounds, and it is such a beautifully illustrated Wonders of the World, Atlas of the Wonders of the World book, and a few places we have been to. We did a flight-free trip last Christmas and went to the Eiffel Tower and to the Neuschwanstein Castle, and those are both in there, so I know that he will love that. Very, very excited to gift that. Okay, and then my husband, I will show you in a second. It's pretty consumables dominated, but our kids know that these things all come from us. I think every family does Santa so differently, but from the beginning, my husband and I did it differently. He believed in Santa when he was a kid. I never believed in Santa. And we had very strong opinions about this when we had kids. I was pretty adamant I was not going to tell my kids Santa was real. He loved the joy of experiencing the make-believe of Santa, believing in Santa, but I was very adamant that we were not going to do it. Anyway, my reason for not doing Santa with our kids, what I brought to the table in that heated discussion, was that I wanted our children to always know that we will always give them our best version of what's true, and that we're always going to make mistakes. We will always get things wrong, and that, age appropriately, they will need to test what we say and figure out if it's right or question it, and that's so great. But we're always going to give them our best attempt at what is true. And so for me to tell them this whole scenario for years that wasn't true, I felt like that would be really difficult for me to do. I'm a very black and white person, which is not always a good thing. My husband is much more of a kind of grey, cedar grey and things. But it was really important to me that we always told them the truth. That said, we still talk about Santa. So we still talk about all these gifts being from Santa. Santa fills stockings. He's this really fun make-believe character in our home. My kids know that the Tooth Fairy is not real, but they write notes to the Tooth Fairy, and the Tooth Fairy writes back. My 3-year-old wrote a letter to Santa last night to thank him for all the presents. And so we absolutely keep that story in our house. And I think you can have both. So that's our take. And actually my son raised this morning, what about kids where their grown-ups don't have the amount of money? Wouldn't they feel like the same amount of money as someone else? Wouldn't those kids feel like they had been bad that year? Because he's been seeing, the idea that if you're bad, Santa will not give you presents. And we saw a mother in the supermarket the other day, pull out her mobile phone and tell her kids, I'm going to call Santa. And I explained to them, this is how people use Santa, and that's not what we want to do with you. We want to build mutual respect, is the idea, in how we talk to each other, not to threaten you with not getting gifts, but this is how some parents use Santa. But then he brought up, well, wait, if kids whose grown-ups don't have as much to be able to shop for them, money-wise, wouldn't they feel like they had not been good this year, or wouldn't they feel bad? And so we said that's actually another reason that we love you knowing these gifts are from us, and that other people's gifts are from their parents. So whether they get more or whether they get less, it's not an indication of how good someone has been that year. Everyone has a different situation, and that's okay. But these are from us, but we talk about them as being from Santa. So that is the Santa take. Okay, my husband's stocking. We both do stockings for each other. We don't actually gift Christmas gifts to each other. We haven't done the last few years. We've just gone for simple. I mean, I say simple. This is, you'll see what I've got him. But we both give each other stockings, and we both talk about them as being from Santa as well. But we don't do gifts. So I have got him. All right. Some charity shop socks. This was actually his biggest ask for Christmas, was socks. We are old, guys. This was actually quite expensive. This was £8 for 5 pairs of cotton socks. They've got some little animals on them, but he's got those. And then what else? Oh, another pair as well. It was his request, guys. some bamboo socks. I think those were actually from the charity shop. Oh no, they're from our local bulk shop. Anyway, some bamboo ethically made socks. And then this is really his big love. But we have got him some beers. So this was a more expensive one. This was 14 or 15 pounds. I know that he hasn't tried this one. He's like a collector, absolutely loves it, but doesn't buy a ton because our grocery budget is not there. So we did a little bit more of a splurge at Christmas. So we've got that one. Then we've got, I went and tried to, I like to support local as much as we can. So we went to a little local shop. We've got, actually, I think that one was from the supermarket, but it looked interesting. We've got that one, a Hawkstone IPA. Then a Vault City. This is really boring if beer is not your thing. This is actually one of our favorite UK breweries. And I grabbed him a can of that from a local small business beer shop. That's a really great one. If you have someone who likes craft beer, that is a brilliant one. What else have we got? One more. Okay, this was actually a recommendation by the person who runs the shop. A kind of a Christmassy one. It is from Bristol Brewery, and that was a recommendation, so we grabbed that one. And then the only oh wait, there's a package missing in here. Yeah, okay. One thing that I purchased off Etsy, we've got one of our favorites, Ben & Jerry's meets Tony, 2 B corporations, and then these, which were on clearance. I know that will just be a little happy Christmas treat. This I haven't actually opened yet, but it's something that I know he wanted. I love shopping small businesses on Etsy, but this is a, I'll see if I can find a book. He is a big reader, currently reading this, but this lets you hold the book open with one hand, like this. So that was one of his, or he had said he wanted one when we'd seen one a while back. So I grabbed that from a small business off Etsy. And that's it. That is the stockings of this year. I'm trying to think on average how much each one was. The beer was a little bit more, but then he will save that and spread it through a good number of months, and we'll drink it together, and it will be date night treats as opposed to other things. So it kind of is a bit of a wash sometimes instead of getting other things, but it's just the fun of having it all in the moment. But if I estimate my 3-year-old stocking, we've got 1, 2 pounds, 3 on chocolate, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, hand-me-down, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So maybe 20 pounds for her stocking, which we don't do a huge Christmas budget. We spend well below the national average, which I think is about a £600 or £700 spend per person, not per gift that you give, per person. At least it has been for the last few years. We spend way below that. But a lot of these things are things that are needed anyway. And so the budget is not quite like having a £20 spend on a Christmas stocking, because it's little clothing bits that are needed, it's pencils that are needed, it's chocolate that would have been a treat from somewhere else, but instead it comes from the stocking. So I would say each of the kids probably has about a £20 spend on their stocking. But yeah, because it's things they need, the budget works well. And then I don't know what's in mine, but I will say predominantly chocolate and socks. And I think he snuck a few extra things in there. We usually have a chat about we're not doing sneaky stockings. Like, we're not just buying things that would have been gifts to do no gifts and then putting them in stockings. But I have a feeling he's been a bit sneaky anyway. I have not been. So there we go. Okay, that's the lot, I think. So I linked a couple of other videos below if you're in the sustainable Christmas mindset. One is making paper stars, which we're going to put on our table. We're doing Christmas with a number of different family members. We're going to do little paper stars as table settings. You could write names on them. That'll be really sweet. And then I also linked a video that's my general planning for a sustainable and budget-friendly holiday season in general, which it's a little bit late right now for all that planning, but that is there if you want to watch that one too. And then a full charity shop haul, which actually was my most watched video of this year. Long form YouTube video, that is there as well if you want to see more, how we gift sustainably from charity shops and how we approach that. But that is my Santa duty for this year done. I'm just going to go wrap it, and yeah, okay. Well, thanks for joining. Merry Christmas. And I have another video launching tomorrow, which is actually a me reading through the comments on my most watched video of this year, so not long form YouTube video, but a different video, hit 1.1 million views, which was a lot for me. And so I've gone through all the comments and responded to them. There were some funny ones in there. That launches tomorrow, so hit subscribe and you will see that tomorrow. It's a fun one. Okay, anyway, thanks for joining and have a great week.